What's going on, Winners Dialogue family? It's Leon again, checking in with you. Shake my hand. Today, we got a special guest in the studio with us. We're doing another episode of My Secret Mentor, the place where we highlight black entrepreneurs in the DMV area. Specifically, today we got a hiker, biker, skydiver, whitewater rafter, skier. All right, I'm going to keep going with that. Just know that she's not afraid of the outdoors. Today, we got a person that's going to help you save a couple grand. We got Saving with Safiya in the building. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. You know, indoors is a little different than outdoors, but I am here.
Oh, you got some indoor sports there?
Indoor soccer, but you know, right now we quarantine, so.
Oh, shoot. I didn't even know they did indoor soccer.
It's cool. It's cool. The sport's not for everybody.
Yeah. I did some outdoor soccer a little bit, but never indoor soccer.
Okay. It is a different feel. It's like smaller people on the field, like 3 at a time. It's weird.
So, I want to ask you a question, right?
That's what
Because
we're
I
here
gave
for.
you a little bit of intro, but I don't want to leave nothing out. Is there anything that you want people to know about you that they don't know about you?
Well, you're gonna learn a lot today. Talking with me.
Hey.
But what I would like people to know is I'm excited to be here, and I'm rooting for everyone black. Issa Rae.
Hey, that's what we're doing. That's what we highlighting right here all the time. So, with that being said, can you give people a little bit of insight about what it is that Saving with Safiya is all about, the brand, and what you're trying to make happen?
Yeah. So what the brand is just trying to promote saving in the community by any ways possible. What I really focus on is bill literacy. I just go through people's bills, make sure that they are paying for what they want and not overpaying for other things. What's really great is the partnership I have with so many companies that people are already using, which helps me get people better deals. Deals on like your cell phone,
Okay.
deals on your internet, things that are essential.
What kind of companies we talking about? What kind of
We're talking about AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, Dish, DirecTV, Vivint. What I love and promote so much right now is identity theft protection. Because we are on the phones and on our laptops, putting our information on anything and everything without kind of thinking. I know growing up, I knew like on MySpace, I don't put my real address, but on Amazon, I do it all the time.
I didn't know they had an address spot on MySpace.
They did. They definitely did. Like, you know, even just saying your whereabouts. Like if you said Maryland, like that was considered taboo. But there's so many people that are growing up in the internet stage where it's like, oh, they asked for my card number. Let me put it in.
And then we save it.
And we
just
save it.
So we don't have to remember it.
Exactly.
And they go, but let's go there.
Yeah.
Got your computer, got your information. I'm buying me a boat.
Yeah. And with hackers, pretty much they're watching your keystrokes. So, you know, there's things that you put on your phone, thresholds that you pass that is called a data dump. So when you walk through Target, they just like, oh, what was the last thing that Leon was searching? Let's bring that to his phone. So that's those marketing tools where it's like you're thinking, oh, well, I was looking at these headphones and it keeps popping up on my email. All this, it's data dumping.
So they're just following you, tracking you. I actually I was looking at some YouTube video a while back. They were saying the iPhone has a bunch of settings that you know, a lot of agreements we agree to. We just hit accept because we don't want to read that long paragraphs rather. But it was a tracking thing that's on that enabled naturally. Unless you go in there to disable it, it's going to track you. And even when you disable it, it kind of says, we're going to less track you. We're going to still track you, but we're just not going to track you as much.
Mm-hmm. And I bring that type of awareness to save people on that too, because we are in a digital age of all of this is being tracked. I don't know if you're aware that they just changed our phone settings to have COVID monitoring.
Oh yeah, I did see something about that.
So I just really try to make people aware, like if they can do that with your phone without your permission, really so much of our information is out there. So you really want to protect it because it could be in good hands, but it can also be in some really bad hands where that is a headache in itself to like prove that it wasn't you. Like it's the ultimate setup. So.
It is. So what tools do y'all have in place to help, you know, prevent those type of identity theft issues?
So we have a robust system that I'm partnered with, and the system It protects you from court cases. Like we had one person who had a DUI on their account.
Okay.
And they weren't even able to drive or drink yet.
So how did they get the...
Somebody else used their...
okay. They got the information. So it remedied the situation for them?
So what we were able to do was we were first able to alert them. We were also able to reimburse them for all those type of fees that people don't think about, because now you have to run court to court to say that was not me. So then we were able to resolve it. And that was just a whole team that comes with the service. So just bringing that service.
Data insurance.
Data insurance. Yeah.
Okay.
Make sure you're protected, because it's getting crazy. You don't want your name in the mix of anything right now. Like if they're like, oh yeah, Leon did that, you're like, not Leon.
No, it wasn't me.
Like,
I actually had that happen probably about a year ago, and I said, well, I know I'll be in Laurel, but I didn't make this sale. I haven't even used my card. And they said you was at Red Robin's and places I never go. Pretty much. It's like you bought a bunch of stuff from Home Depot. I was like, I don't be in Bethesda. Why would I? But you have a system in place that's going to help prevent these type of situations.
Correct.
I got to ask you this then. How did you make that transition from the banking industry to go into this now?
Yes. So I was in the banking industry, and I was working in an industry that I can only talk to people who had a threshold at minimum of $250,000. And that was like kind of after college. So it was like, who do I know with $250,000? And that transition came from being underrepresented. I'm like, hey, there's nobody that looks, I don't want to say nobody. There were not as many as I would like that I could talk to.
It was in the minority, being minorities.
So I was like, okay, cool. How do I take this to the masses? So I learned what I needed to learn, and, just took that to the masses. I'm like, okay, who do I need to talk to? And what is it that we're spending our money on? We're spending our money on the new phones. We're spending our money on our entertainment system. Nothing's wrong with these things, because we definitely need them. They're essential. I just want people to make sure that they have the best deals out there, because another thing I say is I reduce lifelong bills for them to be affordable, so you can save in the short term and start building long-term wealth, because once you start those bills, they're never going away. So don't choose $200 today when it can really be $50.
Can't make temporary decisions for permanent actions. So when you found this industry, was it anybody that inspired you that you seen working in this field, or was it just like you got an ad or flyer that you was filling out applications, or how did you stumble upon it?
So I had a mentor.
Okay.
I believe in village talk all the time. Like it really does take a village to do everything and anything. And my mentor, he came to me and was like, hey, I think you would be a great fit for something that we're trying to work on, which is just helping people save money. And as well as we have a cause as well. So we help feed hungry children at the same time when we help people pay those bills. But I trusted the mentor, knew the mentor, and when I saw it, I was like, wow, this really just kind of makes sense. Like, it's something I want to do. It goes towards the path that I want to go towards, which is entrepreneurship. And that's kind of how I fell into what I'm doing now, Saving with Safiya.
Man, that's great. Not only did you get to make some money, because that's always good, but you get to help people save money, which makes it easy to sell. And in addition to that, y'all have a great philanthropy plan. So I got a question. I know we had a conversation about this briefly about mentorships. When you're trying to find a good mentor, because that's definitely a situation that's hard to navigate for a lot of people. They say, I don't know where to find a good mentor. And especially being a woman, is sometimes I had a private conversation with one of my friends recently, and she was telling me how that could be a very challenging, high pressure situation, not knowing how to navigate through that. Do you have any special ways that you navigate through that type of relationship, or would advise somebody to navigate in that relationship if they're feeling uncomfortable, or they just want to draw a line in the sand and say, okay, this is business and I don't want the lines to be blurred?
Yes. So with my mentors, I have a couple of mentors, but it's really about, I watch what they do. So
Okay.
again, even with my mentor, I knew him for a while. So I kind of knew what he was about, things like that. So again, with that village mindset, there are many times that even on both sides that I forget because I have women and men that help me along this whole way. And the men that I have had along the way are my family members, where, of course, I'm very trusting. And because they have shown me that representation, I do trust other men as well.
Okay.
But like you said, there are blurred lines. And from my experience, I do have to wake up sometimes like, oh, well, why does this mentor need to meet me at this time? Like, so best advice to someone who's looking for a mentor, I always say watch them, because you'll see what they're about. Like, watch who they're around.
Absolutely.
As well as just mentors speak, listen to what they're saying. Like if it's like, oh yeah, we need to do this to cut this, or this is the shortcut, that's not really a mentor you want, because that's a short-term thing.
Yeah, you want to make sure you can learn from them long-term, and like, okay, they're constantly innovating, they're constantly developing the way they do business. And
really, where are they going? Is it somewhere you want to be? I remember talking to one mentor who was like, have a mentor in every stage that you're about to go to. So if you're about to be in the career world, find a mentor that has been in the career. But you can have multiple. So somebody who's been in a career world for about 3 years can probably relate to you. And then someone who's been there for like 15. So they can kind of give you those next steps. Same thing with family. Like you want to get around people who have a family that you would want to implicate. Because that will help you when you get to that step.
Absolutely. It's definitely imperative to surround people that's doing what you want to do and that's going in the direction you want to get. And like you said, the levels definitely matter, because sometimes you get to a point where that was a good relationship at the time, but you outgrew it and you need to be ready for the next level.
Yeah. I'd say there's a season for everyone and everything. So even some mentors, it was like, oh, I needed you in college. But today it's like no love lost. It's just like I
appreciate what you've done for me and got me to this point, but it's time for me to seek the next level. How do you have a certain way of you vetting these people as far as finding a new mentor or place that you search, or you just happen to be at that level and you happen to run into them and you start to say, okay, I need to watch this person because they're where I want to be. And if I see that they're moving correctly, then I'm going to approach them.
I'm a watcher. Like I can talk to anybody and everyone. So I'll watch. And if it's like, hey, you're the person that I would like to connect with, connect. Like there's a word that people use, but it's called aggressive. I'm just very assertive. It's like, all right,
assertive. That's nothing wrong with being assertive. You gotta be willing. I think that kind of goes into the outdoorness. You're out there. You're like, my adrenaline is pumping. I'm not afraid to put myself in different situations, and that's, I think, where that comes from.
And I tell people, what I really loved about skydiving is it's like, if I don't fear gravity, I'm not going to fear people. Like, that was a bigger fear. So
that's a quote to remember right there, people. If I'm not afraid to jump out this plane, why am I worried about people? I'm not worried about gravity. The gravity of the situation is lesser. So the more information you have in your mental resource pool, the deeper it is. So I got to ask, what resources do you find yourself using when you're trying to find new innovative ways to prospect?
The tools that I really like, one is Instagram. I love Instagram. When I tell you, and again, part of it is funny too, because I use my Instagram very business focused. So I definitely slide in people's DMs, but I forget, like, oh yeah, there's a time and a place.
Yeah.
But I love Instagram. I'm transitioning more to LinkedIn.
Okay.
And then part of it is getting creative. I was a marketing major at North Carolina A&T, and I just used some of that degree of, okay, cool. How do I get my message across to people that were about saving? This month of July, We're not in July yet. This month of June.
You're ready for the future. That's all it means.
I'm always thinking ahead.
Actually, it's July right now, actually. It's July. That's when we're going to drop this in
July.
Oh,
right here.
It's July.
This last month, it was a June challenge that I did every penny counts.
Okay.
So it was really just to make people aware that it's the coins in your ashtray that can get you the soda pop at your local store. But you need to be aware of it, because that's also the same reason you can lose money. I put a post up saying that it really only takes $27.43 to spend $10,000 in a year.
Oh, wow.
So each day.
So you broke down the math and gave it to them in the simplified version.
$28 each day. And there's so many people, not with quarantine, like I think a lot of people did kind of ease up. But if you're spending your $8 for breakfast, your $8 for lunch, and your $8, well, dinner is not $8. Dinner is definitely like 10, 15.
It adds up. Unless you're eating, I don't know, a burger from McDonald's or something. That's not healthy. That's not going to keep you around long. So you're not going to be doing business long.
But that's $27 right there. Yeah. And then, when people are like, hold on, I spent $10,000 in a year just by 27. Yeah.
And you need money to start your business. And they say, I don't have the money. I have no idea how I can come up with this money. Do you know how much it costs to start your business? Do you know what the industry requires? Now you got a goal to set. Okay, you need this amount of money. Now what can you cut the fat at? Okay, you don't need this. Can you do with less of this? Do you need to order from here all the time? No.
And it is about how bad do you want it. There's some people who, when I talk to them, I'm like, hey, do you even watch TV? And they're like, no. I'm like, all right, let's get rid of this cable bill. But what if we're paying this much a month for, but what?
Yeah, but how much do you want what you say you
right.
want? Go to somebody else's house and watch TV if you must watch TV.
Yeah, and then even
on that drive there, think about the opportunity cost.
Mm-hmm. And even where we are now, like some of the cell phone people I help with cell phones, like you have streaming services, like
yeah.
So
you can just cast it to your TV. There you go. It save a bunch of time in the process. Mm-hmm. So is there any other, besides Instagram, do you use any other places to find new prospects?
So being in this area, DMV area, I definitely did a lot of networking.
Okay.
Events. My tools were Eventbrite and Meetup. So Meetup, Eventbrite is great. Especially like when you go to like the business section. Of course, there's so many other things like art, but I definitely did that. And Eventbrite is really still going on. It's just more Zoom calls and things of that nature. Meetup, I like that because it's like-minded people. So now I don't have to think like, oh, cool, what are we going to be talking about? It's like, no, this is an entrepreneurship meetup. Cool. Now I know people are going to be in some type of area as me. So, and then just those relationships I've already cultivated. So, calling people that I've met, college, high school, like, hey, what are you doing now? Because we might be able to help each other. Like, even who we were in high school, we've changed.
Yeah.
So.
And it's funny that, because I know the time we met was actually at one of those events. And I was looking, I was like,
shout her out. Amber.
Yes, Amber. I can't remember. I'm going to tag you in this, Amber. Don't think we're going to forget you.
Remnant, I got you, girl.
See, she's on it. We're going to make sure we pay this forward always. But when we was at that event, I was looking, I was like, okay, some people got business cards. Some people say, oh, I forgot it. And it's like, okay, some people are leaving early. And I'm looking at the whole room and I'm like, okay, let's see how these people are moving in this room so I can adjust and pay attention and be ready for the interaction. And I remember you kind of standing out because you had digital business cards. And I was like, okay, I got my business card. And my business card has the scanner, the QR code on it, so it takes you directly to the website, so you don't have to type out the winner's dialogue and potentially spell something wrong.
Right.
Because I know some
that
people
spelling
do that.
Thing.
That happens, and I was like, I should have made this less complicated for people. But yours was in a unique position because, to me, I looked at it as like, not only do you have that information that's going directly to my phone, but you automatically have my information, so you could reach back out. You don't have to wait for somebody to reach out to you. What made you decide to use the digital business cards, and what platform did you use to create them on?
So again, it's that exchange of information. I went to another networking event. She showed me the digital card. It just made sense to me. It's like I'm paying any company, I don't want to ever endorse, but any company, I'm paying them $100 for like, what, 500 cards. What happened to cards? People put it in their coaster. It's at the bottom of somebody's bag. You know, it's months before someone reaches out. And like you said, it was just one of those things like, hey, you know, I can text you my business card. What's your number? And somebody's like, oh, do you ever get pushback? If they don't want it, like, I kind of know what business they doing.
At least you know you can save yourself a card.
Right.
You give people cards and they just, I don't know where I got this card from or what it's for.
And then
Trash.
I just know what business you're in. Like, if you're like, oh, no, email me. Okay. You know, you might be someone that checks your email every day.
Yeah.
I'm in direct. I have to talk to people direct. So I kind of need that first line to talk to you. So, and then I love the digital card because you can change, because any business, I feel like it's about growth. Yeah. So Save with Safiya wasn't on my original card.
Yeah, that's easy to adjust. Type it in, change it, boom.
Yeah. So, and you know, my number doesn't change or anything like that, but if I do want to change what my market is or anything like that, I just update the card.
And you can reach back out to the people and say, hey, this is the update.
No.
Or
if they have the website, it will update automatically.
It will update automatically. What platform did you use?
I heard that question.
We'll link it.
Thank you.
Don't worry. We'll link it.
DBiz. There it is. DIBIZ.com. DBiz.com. So you can put your phone number, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, your Twitter, your Facebook. Everything is on that one little card. And like we talked about, anywhere you go with your cell phone, because you're not leaving your cell phone anywhere, you have my information.
Absolutely. So with that being said, tracking, if we're looking at tracking, because you want to be able to track and follow up with people, whether it be your prospects, your clients, or just new people that you want to potentially do business with, do you use any special resources for that as well? Like forms or anything, apps?
So we have a company app and we're partnered with Salesforce.
Okay.
So Salesforce has all of the information of if it's a prospect, if it's a customer. I can upload the information and an email be sent out as soon as it comes in, as well as collecting information as well. Because what my system is I'll talk to people, I'll send them a free survey so we can get all the information of what they're paying on those bills. That uploads to my system. I do the math of, hey, you're actually paying, for example, the last person I talked to, their bill was $160 on the nationwide.
Let's hear how much you cut it down. How much you cut that down by?
Now they're paying $54 a month.
$54?
Yeah, so that's $100 pretty much in savings. A little more of $100, but $1,300 a year.
And on top of that, some of this proceeds go back
to feeding hungry kids. Mm-hmm.
Come on. How the Black Running Organization says it. Let's grow.
Let's go. Let's
do it. So once you got started, what made you, is there any books or anything that you use, by the way?
Personal or?
Yeah, just because you was in sales, like in college and marketing. So like you said, it's a lot of things that you pulling from outside of just the tools that was provided to you.
I will be very honest. I do read a lot of personal development.
Okay.
Where I get much of my education is from people. Like I remember somebody was like, where do you get all your wisdom from? And I think it's really from people. I learn
real life interactions.
Right. When I hear from you and you talk about, because I really do listen. So when I hear about your interaction with something or someone, or even how you reposition, like we were just talking about this room. You're like, oh, I wanted to go into a different space. But now hearing how you just adjusted, I'm like, okay, cool. He needs to adjust. That's what entrepreneurs do. So it kind of was just like, okay, always be learning, always be with the times. That's kind of where I get most of my wisdom from.
It's necessary that we are resilient in all of our business ventures here, because no matter what business you're in, you got to be some type of flexible, because like you said, this COVID thing proved that. A lot of people wasn't ready and they drowned.
much.
Some people gave up, and it's like, this is what's going to distinguish the people that's really about their dream.
Yeah.
I remember in that room, the guy that was speaker that day spoke on to that. He said, the entrepreneur. I think you asked this question. Did you ask this question?
I think so.
Yeah, he was somebody. I remember somebody in the audience asking the question, "Hey, what separates a real entrepreneur? What are the characteristics of a real entrepreneur?" He said, "Well, when times get hard, the people that give up, those people wasn't really in it."
Mm-hmm. And like during this time, this is a very difficult time for everyone. I promise you that. But for my industry, it kind of stayed. It really did stay afloat because everyone at that moment realized they had bills.
And they needed to save.
And then they needed to save. So, for a lot of people, I might have been reaching out and it's like, oh, I got this meeting. When everything came to a halt, it's like, okay, so we're going to log on Zoom to talk about this? Because, it was that thing where, oh, well, you have a couple days that I think they gave us grace periods of like 90 days.
Okay.
For people that had bills, like mortgage, all that. But I'm like, they're not telling us what happens after that 90 days. So let's figure this out now.
Yeah, and some people flourished in this pandemic for that reason, because some people said, okay, well, my business model is going to help you save money. Why would you not want to save money right now? And they became bigger. With that expansion becomes more and more growth. With you, was you able to build your team, and how was you able to build your team?
So I was able to build my team because we are always looking. But looking for specific people. I am looking for those people who are self-starters.
Okay.
I'm looking for those people who are creative. So that helps because it's iron sharpens iron. That's what I really am looking for. Like, okay, what's this idea?
You're not looking to babysit nobody?
Not today or tomorrow.
Oh, okay. No nurseries.
No, because like the guy said, you can kind of tell an entrepreneur. Don't get me wrong. There were so many people during this time that saw like, hey, jobs really were letting people go left and right.
Yeah.
Like, if I can get into an industry that helps people save money, can you show me the steps? I had a general Zoom webinar to talk with them.
You was hosting webinars during this pandemic. You wasn't letting
we
things
still
slow you up.
We still connecting. So just giving them that option to hear what we would want of them and how they want to take it on, because some people are like, that's a good option, but there was some people like, I'm good right now. I'm on unemployment. Nothing's wrong with unemployment.
Yeah. You're looking for people that's not sellers. That's not what you're looking for. So what is the recruitment process like as far as if I wanted to be under your team? Because you told me what the characteristics of the person you're looking for, but what would I need to do?
So once you feel like you have those characteristics and we feel as though both of us, we feel like you're a good fit, we would just take you through a training. Just like any other business, we want to make sure you are equipped with everything. Because on both sides, we have partners that we don't want to disappoint. Like, I don't want AT&T to be mad that we did something slimy to get customers. Yeah. No, we want bad reflection on your character and with our partners. So that's what we offer. We offer the training that helps everyone kind of get on one accord. And once we get through that training, we start you off. Like, that's why we need those self-starters, because it's like, okay, you got the training, now what? Let's go. And it's paid training. We do
you get paid. You get paid. Get a little couple dollars while you working.
Yeah, we do pay as you grow. That's really what it is.
Pay as you grow.
Yeah, because we know it's not everybody's first thing to understand even how to read a bill. So while you're like, okay, how does this work? And just, again, that team we have of partners everywhere.
Got that team around you. Like you said, that village mentality is a key component in this. So what would be some of the big hurdles that a person that's just entering this industry would most likely face, in that where it breaks a lot of people?
What are the obstacles? I will say the obstacles for a lot of people are first themselves.
Okay. What about themselves?
a lot of people are like, that's not me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know?
I can't sell. They're not willing to bet on themselves.
Correct. And that's really what it is. And I've met that so many times where it's like, that's not my brand, or that's not what I do. Okay. You know? And that's very fine. There's some people who are like, I only want a brand in making shoes. Okay.
Yeah, well, if you want to make shoes, that's cool.
Right, that's cool. Because I let people know I never down anybody, because there's money everywhere to be found. That's really what it is. It's about what you want to do for the long run. Because Radio Shack went out of business because of Amazon. Like, you know, all these other companies. Are you going to be at Amazon? Like, people want shoes, yes.
Yeah. Zappos, Amazon.
Right. Are you online? Like, do you have a presence? Like, do you have partners that people believe and know and trust? So that's really kind of the first thing where people are like, nah, I just don't understand it. This isn't me. And
so
I don't want to do it.
A lot of people have an issue actually
growing,
doing a sale. Like, I know a lot of times with some of these companies, you have people they say, I don't know how to sell, or they're scared to accept the idea of, I won't make money until I sell.
It's that, yes, a lot of people have a negative sales mentality, but also it's about talking to people. I have a friend who's just like, I do not like talking on the phone.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Period. She's like, I do not like talking on the phone. And
you gotta talk.
You have to, but you know, if I can't make anybody talk, because during our training, we use people that you know and that love you, so they will listen to you. Like, it's not even like you're talking to new people, because we want to build that comfort. For me, I talk to anybody.
You gotta be comfortable, and you gotta believe in what you're selling, because if you don't believe it, the customer's gonna feel that energy. That transfer of energy matters. And
if you really don't, for real, where I come from, I see it as true help. So it's not even selling something, like I'm not repackaging anything. It's, hey, are you paying more than $50 on your cell phone? Can I share with you how you can lower that? I still have people that's like, no, I like my cell phone. Like, I'm paying $200, but I like it. Okay.
It's like, do you really like it, or are you afraid of change?
And we talked earlier. I don't do the convincing. Like, there's so many people that's like, oh, no. I love everything about it. And, okay, if you love it, I love it.
It's like, okay, well, there's blessings to you.
I'm going past 1,800 more people that have a cell phone who don't love their bill.
So you was able to overcome a lot of these hurdles yourself because who you are. But what would you say is some of the contributing factors to your success in this industry?
It's definitely my parents. Both my parents are entrepreneurial salespeople. My dad was pharmaceutical sales. My mom's a realtor, has been a realtor for a while, broker and back to real estate. My brother is actually a realtor too. So you'll definitely say it's my environment, because we're all go-getters. Like, part of COVID was hard for us because we're all sitting in the house. We're just like, so. But
y'all able to brainstorm together. Y'all all coming from the same mind state of, we got to get out here and get it.
Somehow, somewhere. Like, but we're all like extroverts. We're just like, okay, we know what you look like. Like, we need to go talk to my dad. I love him. Happy Father's Day, Dad. He is the funniest guy. He's the funniest guy because he'll be the first one at vacation at the hotel bar, just like, hey, who are you? Hey, like making jokes. And a lot of that's in me too. I'll be like, hey, and I'm like, oh, stranger danger. Whoa, how you doing? Like,
yeah, well, you're not scared to put yourself out there, and like you said, having your parents there to show you this is the way to go about things and to make it the unfamiliar be more familiar. So that definitely is a good way of starting. So if I was a young brother or sister that was on the fence about getting started in any entrepreneurial venture, specifically yours, what would you advise them to do as far as getting over that initial fear that's in them?
It's about why you want to do something.
Okay. The why is important.
Period. It's the why, because that is what will keep you going. That is what will make those obstacles look so small. Like,
I totally You hit it on the head. I agree.
Like,
knowing your why is going to get you up in the morning at 5:30 and say, okay, it's time to go run. It's time to go start going to that lab and start working right now.
And it's that why, and that really does just drive you. Like, we are able, due to our partnerships, I'm able to be mobile and global. That's what
mobile and global.
Mobile
Come on,
and global.
drop some more gems on them. Mobile and global.
So I can talk to people who are in different countries. So that's why I use Instagram. That's why I use LinkedIn.
Any special hashtags?
Any special hashtags? I do international business.
Okay.
International business.
That's what you search when you're trying to get your message out there. Any hashtag you want for people to find you?
Save with Safiya.
Double S.
Ooh, I should change it because that would be easier, right?
You gotta put the W in there somewhere.
But mobile and global, where there's many times. Tomorrow, I'm supposed to be speaking to someone in the UK.
Okay.
Guess what our time difference is? 6 hours.
You're gonna be up and ready.
I'm gonna be up.
Are they gonna be ready?
I'm gonna be. They're gonna be up.
They better be ready.
Like, you know, for some people, it's like, you need me to wake up that early. Like, I will stay up till 3. Cause that's their 9 o'clock. Like,
Yeah.
if we have to do business that way.
How bad do you want to grow? How bad do you want it?
That's it.
And so, we on my secret mentor, right? That means your secret mentor. I'm only whispering for a little reason here, and that is, we want to know what's your why. Are you willing to share your why behind your drive?
My why is for the children I do not have yet.
You grinding for the future.
For the future.
So you're not a temporary thinker.
I just want whoever comes after me to be like, oh, life is easy. Like, that's
foundation
what it is.
here is pretty good.
Yeah,
it's already
foundation.
paved.
Like, but still talking about working hard. Like, I definitely grew up in a place where it's like, this is smooth. But it's not, let me sit here and cruise. My grandma, she's alive with us today. July, she'll be 101 years old. So
she's able to see all of the growth through the generations.
Through generations, but I see it in her too, because I'm like, bet I can't think about what I am right now. There's 101 that I got to think about, like,
yeah,
for the grandkids, for all them, like.
You want to be able to see it, so I see that you make sure you stand in good health. I seen some of your promotion where you're promoting health as well, the health and the wealth, not health as wealth, but health and wealth.
Right, like it's important. Like, you want to be here, and you don't function. Like, when we were talking about foods too, there's some foods I try to stay away from. I try to avoid. Like, but I think everyone has
so you're trying to avoid
processed food.
Processed, okay.
Like, fast foods,
okay.
They don't see me.
You just avoid. No Chick-fil-A lines for you. You see it, and like, I'm glad I got with that line.
Chick-fil-A is the new one that I'm going away from, because that is like the only one I would eat.
Oh, okay.
But definitely with a lot of what they're supporting right now, it's like, okay.
Yeah, it makes it easier. Sometimes people make it easier for you to just exit left. It's like, oh, okay, that's what y'all doing over here? Yes, I'm going to go over here.
And then quarantine, it's just like, okay, cool. Everything can be made at home. Like, you know, we not starving. Like,
yeah, once you start seeing the landscape and you can adjust to it and say, all right, my body, I need this vehicle. I only got this one. I can't get another one and do this to get a do-over. I got to just keep on using this one and get to where I need to get. And
then it's just that growth and that transition. Like, what you did in high school, middle school, because I'll let you know, playing soccer, playing all the sports I did, I ate horribly. Like, ketchup and mayonnaise on top of my French fries with my chicken sandwich, like, all of it in a soda.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
I wasn't mad.
Our metabolism then is different.
And just what your body can like, your body was able to function off of garbage.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. It was really able to function off of garbage. But you don't have to keep feeding it garbage once you know.
Yeah, once you know, you grow. So we're going to keep growing. So with your brand, you trying to expand your brand and everything and retaining certain relationships. How do you go about retaining and maintaining your stellar relationships that you do have? Do you follow up with people who send them cards or anything?
It's really very personal. It's just, you know, checking on people, because most of my clients are people I would really check in with.
Okay.
Like, we train on keeping it very authentic. Like, if you're not the person that checks up on people, like, okay. But for me, I'm the, hey, didn't you just have a birthday? Like, I might have missed it. But, didn't you just have a birthday?
And technology is beautiful for that. Because I was terrible with birthdays. I was like, oh, Facebook's going to remind me? Thank you.
And it helps. You use your tools. Use your resources, because people put that information out there. But, use it.
Yeah.
Reach out. Hey, didn't somebody just graduate? Like, you can always call.
It's good to take notes on your conversations as well. So I know I can't recall everything. So certain conversations, I say, okay, what were the takeaways from our conversation? And I write them down. I keep them in my notes section, and I say, okay, next time I talk to this person, I remember, hey, you was about to go on a trip. You was about to do this. Let me recall this. So I don't want to be out of the loop on what's going on in your life.
And that's very helpful. Right now, my brain does keep it, because I do remember the conversation in my text messages where you're like, hey, that really stands out. I remember you're a runner. I remember we talked about traveling. Like, I remember this show. Like, there was things that I could remember for some people. But, again, that's because I really listen. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, when I'm staring at y'all, I'll be staring through y'all, because I'm like.
You're actually processing it and putting it in your save folder at the same time. That's good. That's good. That's good, because I'm not... I remember certain things, but some things I'm like, okay, I don't want to leave it to chance.
Okay.
I just don't want to leave it to chance. I would rather be able to refer back and say exactly this is what it was. Gotcha. This is what's going on with this person, and I'm genuinely concerned. I'm genuinely interested in the growth of this person. So, hey, let me reach out and see what's going on.
Right. And when you were talking about how do you reach out, some of it is kind of just knowing the people. So because of social media, a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, she reached out because she liked my pictures. Yeah. If that's how you need me to reach out, I'm cool. Double tap. Like, I got time.
Yeah, I'm looking. I see what you're doing.
I see what you're doing. Like, once it is something like on LinkedIn where it's like, oh, pick up the phone. This person just had a baby. Like, congratulations. But there's many things like traveling. I'm like, all right, looks fun. Like, some people just want the comments. So if I comment, they're like, oh, Safiya, talk to me. Bad.
That's good, because a lot of people overthink what support is. A lot of people overthink what support is. They all think it includes me reaching in my pocket and saying, here's money. That's not always support, because you can hit subscribe to somebody's channel and wow, that's going to help them take them to the next level. You can like that picture. Hey, that's going to influence somebody else to like that picture. It's something simple as that, but overthinking the support is a mental handicap. For whatever reason, a lot of people suffer from it, though.
And part of it does go to why people do what they do. So getting back to that why. There's some friends that will be like, this isn't aesthetically pleasing. Or, there's some of the people I know who are in industries that I don't necessarily agree with. Like, okay. It might go against some of my values. But it's like, okay, I can't support it. But, if I run into somebody personally, I'll let them know. Like, I'm not going to hold business back, but it can't be part of... You
can't be connected with certain things.
Correct. Like,
and that's important for yourself. You got to protect yourself. You got to say, hey, look, my personal moral compass won't allow me to do this. It's not nothing against you. It's about me. You got to understand that, because I'm helping you understand it by giving you feedback. You don't have to you're not left in the dark wondering. So when we talked about platforms as far as what you use to promote your business, I know you use Instagram a lot and you're getting into LinkedIn. How are you liking LinkedIn first and foremost?
Learning,
I need to learn it myself. So I was going to ask you for advice. I don't understand it that well.
Me neither. If you want some of my tools, I will definitely say Canva. I use for everything. Hashtagger or hashtag expert. I definitely use them, because thinking of like hashtags for everything is a process. Because, you need the algorithm, they want fresh ones, or else you're like spam in that hashtag. And it does the hashtags for LinkedIn as well. So learning LinkedIn, there's, some YouTube university.
Yes, that's the university subscribed to.
But
before it was Khan Academy.
It's
you and me.
definitely a process because I don't know really what we promote on there yet. Because
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's people that slide in those DMs like it's not business either, and I just like.
I would think LinkedIn is the upper echelon of business social media.
Mm-hmm. But people post personal stuff too, so I think it's really all about your personal brand. Because you know, there's some things I'm like, wouldn't you put that on Facebook? But you know, it's like I guess people on LinkedIn need to know about your family.
Yeah, I guess
gives you that
real life interaction.
Correct.
Like, I feel like I know you personally. That's a good thing. You use any forums or blogs or anything?
I don't. Not at
mastermind groups.
Is that through? I part of a couple tribes.
How's that experience been for you as far as gathering information and bouncing things off of each other?
Well, one of my tribes, which is Coffee and Co-working by Marquita, it really
shout out Marquita.
Shout her out. The whole tribe. They bounced ideas off of me that I was like, what? Like, you know, I would have thought I would think about that, but I'm like, oh, wow. And like the way that tribe just pushes you, because in that tribe we really do talk about residual income. We talk about the long run, how it can be simple. Like it can be a book, it can be some type of audio motivational speak. Like you know, there's so many people that's like, oh, residual sounds weird. That group, that mastermind is like, no, it's real. Like
it's real, and you need the other people to reinforce it. Sometimes you hear other people talk about it and say, no, this is what it is, and they give you that pushback and say, I like your idea, but sometimes you need to hear that but. You don't always want to hear the but
and you definitely
necessary.
need it in safe spaces.
Yeah,
because you know, I will say somebody from the street, like if I'm walking down the street and it's just like, oh yeah, I saw this, but da da da, I'm like, thanks for your input.
Yeah,
I'll put it down. I will meditate on it. I don't know what business you do or anything like that, so you might
don't know what that credibility
right
lies.
You might just be one. And here's the thing, everything doesn't work for everybody.
It does not.
So once you kind of get that through your head, like there's going to be somebody like, Safiya, you do testimonial Thursdays. I think you should do Tuesday. Okay.
And speaking of what you got going on Instagram, what is the latest thing that you're doing promotion wise or marketing wise right now? So I know you had a contest going. It
was the June challenge, which is every penny counts. Just helping people become aware. The content that's coming out, you'll hear it. But we're talking about the difference between awareness and intent.
Okay.
There are many people that are aware money comes in. They don't have intent for it. They don't know where they want it to go out to. Because there are people who really just like, okay, cool, I gotta pay this, I gotta pay this, I gotta pay this, I gotta pay this. But really just being aware and putting that intent of, cool, does it have to go here? Like, does it have to go here tomorrow?
Does that help you with more engagement as far as people coming to your page and saying, okay, I know what she's doing, gets more clarity, insight?
So my process is when a person comes to my page, comes through my story, anything like that, I'll follow them and I will go into their DMs. Is, hey, you know, thanks for the follow, or thanks for engaging, thanks for showing my picture some love. Like, I will talk to everybody. Interactions is real. That's real. I need to implement that immediately. Immediately. If I see it, like, here we go. Like, what are we talking about? And they're like, oh, cool. So, like, the last person, they're like, oh, yeah, because I don't know anything about financial literacy. And I'm like, oh, cool. So can we set up something this week? Yeah. Like, that's part of it is to apply pressure of you're thinking about it. Since you just said that, can we talk this week? Strike while the iron's hot. Right. You know, because if I wait till tomorrow, you're not thinking about it, you don't remember what you said, XYZ. So I'm like, can we talk this week? I get on a Zoom call or whatever they feel comfortable with, and then we're talking. I'm like, okay, what do you know about financial literacy? And I just give people ease. Like, hey, if we're talking about everything, we became free. Then we were farmers. Okay. And then they were like, hey, we need... Take them through the history. Right. Now we need workers again. You know, okay, cool. Now at this time, we don't mind paying you. Okay, cool. But we didn't know what to do with money before. Like, that's why I think a lot of people in our community, we understand trade.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, you want to do this labor? I'll do this for you.
This for this.
This for this. So when people are like, you need to unlearn that black owned is cheaper, I think a lot of people need to remember that it was about trading. It's like, okay, I can come to Leon.
We started at bartering,
Mm-hmm.
but now we at a different system. We're at a different impasse now.
Now they're like currency. We need dollars. And you're like, oh, well, you know, I'm about negotiation and stuff like that. So it is just that constant growth. But once we got money, people didn't know what to do with it. So I always try to make sure people are comfortable. Like, it's not your fault that you don't know anything about financial literacy.
Yeah.
But we do need to learn something in the process. So,
evaluating and understanding the value of the money and yourself and your time, more importantly, to say, okay, I got this product or this thing. I know how much time it took me to do it. Now, I have to charge you accordingly. I can't just give it to you because you think we look alike. Mm-hmm. That's not fair. That's not fair to me.
It's not. Because mistakes are costly, but people won't hear that. They're like, oh, no.
Accountability is a hard thing to take.
Yeah. Like, I can figure out how to, become a mechanic. I'll go to YouTube. All right, cool.
Sometimes that works. And sometimes you end up in a worse situation.
So it's about what you want to do. Like, do you want to take it to a local person? Because that might save you some time.
Yeah.
Or,
do you value the time or the money? Which one is the more valuable to you? Mm-hmm. So what would you point somebody directly to right now to get more information? I know currently I look up 2 financial terms a day. I'm not the biggest financial guru, but I understand that, so I'm willing to learn. So let me just look up 2 terms that I do not know and study them, write 3 sentences using this word, and now I've expanded my vocabulary and my understanding of finances. What place would you send a person to?
Part of the challenge and what I wanted people to get from the June challenge is money is in your face. It really is. So where I point people to is listing out all your bills.
List them out.
List them out, because that is where your money's going.
Okay.
And when we talk about that, there are fancy terms. Those are cool. Keep learning and growing. Some people just need to know that the money is there. Like, again, when I said $28, $10,000 goes out your pocket, no one saw that $10,000. So once you see, like, month to month, it's going to this, and this, and this, you'll become more aware and get intentional about, maybe I can't add this. Because I think a lot of people are like, I got some extra money. I can add, my new whatever. So I challenge people to write everything down, because once it's on paper, it's very real.
Firm believer. It's write it down.
Mm-hmm. And you have to write it down with your pen and paper, because
review it
because it's real on that bill, that energy bill, that cell phone bill is real, but you didn't write it. When you say, hold on, I'm writing another number and and another number, like, I know so many people, when I gave them that challenge of, like, writing down all your expenses, they get tired of writing. They're like, man, I spent, $2 on a pack of gum. Like, I got to record that? Yeah. $2.11. I need you to see, because that's where it's coming.
And some banks, I noticed they offer it in a more simplified version. If you look at, like, for the card users, they'll look on there and they'll see that, hey, this amount of money is allocated to entertainment. Mm-hmm. I don't know what you're doing here. You're going to the movies a lot or something, and you see 45%. And it's like, okay, I wrote down my bills, and it equals this amount. I know how much money I'm bringing in, and I subtract it. Where's all that money at? It's like, well, you might want to look into it a little bit more deeper to understand what are your spending habits. How can you change them?
And I tell people it doesn't take a long time.
It doesn't.
I think a lot of people are like, I don't have time. It is the commercial breaks. It is the, are you still watching on Netflix? Just pause it. Like that. And because it's your personal finances, you can do them personally anytime.
Priorities.
Like, if you do them at 11 p.m., they still get done.
It's not your lack of time. It's your lack of priorities.
You can repeat, like, all of that.
Like, just do that. Just prioritize. Save the fun for later. Like, you want to relax at the end of the day. Get all the stuff you want to do in the beginning of the day. You go to work for somebody else. Do that a bunch of hours. Why can't you do it for yourself?
And part of that's the discipline. Like I said, when we talked about that why and how bad do you want it, Cause I know a lot of people like, Safiya, why you up at so late? I'm like, cause in other countries they up. Like,
Yeah. Somebody's out here getting it right now.
Right. Like there's sometimes
I know where I want to be at.
I know sometimes I stay up late because I'm trying to talk to people in California. Cause again, I use Instagram. It's like, okay, I see y'all 3 hours of difference. Like,
yeah,
I don't mind calling you at my 12, your 9. Like,
hey, look, you say you're available at 9:00. Okay, specific time. I'll be there. I'll be there. So what? All right. Before you go, I want to ask you a question. What is the number one book, app, or website that you'll appoint somebody in to get better financial literacy?
Oh, that's a question.
Yeah.
Okay. What book, app,
or a better marketer?
Or a better marketer? Because I read a lot. And then some companies, I'm like, I don't want to endorse them yet.
Hey, look, we good. We want to make sure this is a thought out answer because it's going to help somebody. It's going to be effective. It's going to change somebody's life in the way they view money, their time, and more importantly, their value.
Yeah, most definitely. If I had to say,
I know for me, I currently impose a system of I review a lot of books in my morning. I got sticky notes on my mirror of the 4 agreements, and I say, okay, I need to follow this. Okay, this is gonna get me mentally ready. And I'm in the car. I'm listening to my Zig Ziglar book, The Art of Closing the Sale. I'm like, okay, these are not just about selling, but it's changing my whole mentality on how I view things and put me in a good mood and starting me out for the day.
And because you said finance, because that is a good book, because I'm like, oh yeah, but like I said, I do a lot of health, self-help. So if I can say a book in general, I would say it's Outwitting the Devil.
Oh man, I love that book.
I love that book,
especially the audio version.
Yes, I'll tell people right, and I really get scared when I tell people this, right? Because that book is so powerful. I feel like they're gonna take it off the planet, like.
And even in the book, they talk about it. They said Napoleon Hill couldn't even publish that book during his time because it was going to be so controversial.
Yeah, but if anybody wants to hear like the self-help to everything, I feel like that is the book. You can find it on YouTube. I've listened over and over because it's literally only 3 hours. And the reason I say that's the book, because when you understand that much of your finances may be a devil blocker. Like, you know, the devil does not want you to pass this border. Like, you know, yeah. And that's why I try to give everybody like that understanding that you can't balance it all. Like, as soon as this goes right, then this might go wrong. But do not feel like, oh my gosh, let me go back to this. Like, really just you find the best balance for yourself. But definitely in finances.
Yeah, you got to stick it out.
You got to stick it out. And I try to make sure everyone knows it's a journey. Like, even on journeys, you take a break. And things happen during your journey. So, you know, the advice I would give someone who just came out of college might be different than a household that has a child.
Like you said, it's different levels.
Correct.
Depends on where you at in your journey.
And that's the thing. Everyone has a different journey.
It's okay to take intermission sometimes, but understand the show is going to continue after the intermission.
Most definitely. So that's the book I would tell everybody to read.
Check that out. Please check Outwitting the Devil. Audio version. It does something extra for it. I'll tell you that. I'll give you that advice.
Because it's an interview. It's just like this when you hear it as
yeah.
It's like, oh, Napoleon was sitting right there with him.
And I know it sounds kind of crazy, but you got to look beyond what is actually saying with the words and listen to the meaning and the actual description of what's happening, the change that is happening there.
And if you like it, inbox me. If you don't like it, inbox me. We still going to talk about money, so.
All right, so before you go, we need you to give your socials and the best place that people can find you and reach out to you.
Social is Save with Safiya on everything. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Boom.
Save with Safiya. So Safiya. She always finds in you awesomeness. So
she's there.
And LinkedIn is Safiya Parker. And my phone number is on the websites as well. You got direct contact with me. I'm here to help.
And we thank you for being a member of My Secret Mentor and serving as a mentor today.
Thanks
and as
for
always,
having me.
remember, dreams plus action equals life.
Follow your dreams.